Hello, folks. Welcome to Pro Trader Strategies. My name's Eric Wilkinson, and this is Spotting the Trade. Yes, you can do this, folks, from just about anywhere. We're at the Wigwam again today. So throughout this video, I'm going to be talking about some different stuff. I'm going to be talking about the economic data, see how that's impacting the overall markets with some of my market analysis. And then ultimately, I'm going to talk about some option strategies I'm going to implement into my portfolio based on my assumptions I come up with. So if that's interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Right next to it, folks, is a little bell that will let you know when I come in unannounced. A little bit later today than normally. I usually come in at around 11:30 Eastern. A little bit later today, just to kind of get things set up. I want to try different locations from now on, as we are in a world where we can travel from just about anywhere and trade from those locations. So I'm going to be taking advantage of that because I've lived in Arizona for about 6 years, and I never get out of the house, folks. So the fact of the matter is I want to get out of the house and start enjoying Arizona, especially in the wintertime, as most people try to do. So smash that like button, share it with a friend. That hitting that like button is like beating these little crawlers or these bots that run out into the web and find somebody just like you to share this information with. Also, throughout this video, I'm going to be checking over here on the side. You might see me periodically looking over here. I'm going to be looking for folks out there asking questions. So throw it in that chat window. I will be keeping an eye on that as we go along. And if you're watching this on tape delay, I will circle back around for you all. All right. PMI, services PMI. We got the flash manufacturing estimates. We saw that those were a little bit of an iffy line in the sand there. Well, we got the Spanish, all of the service sector of Spanish, Italian coming in above 50. So we're seeing expansion continue across the pond, and construction spending PMI in Great Britain was better than expected there, coming in at 54, expected to be 52. Remember, anytime you're seeing these PMI numbers, above 50 is expansion, below 50 is contraction. So we're seeing continued expansion there. Then we still have those OPEC meetings. We saw that we got a build earlier on this week that was causing crude oil to see a little bit of weakness here. But those OPEC meetings, we're going to get a little bit more color out of these folks as to what the production values are going to be. Now, here in the United States, keep in mind, we are one of the leading producers of oil right now at 11 million barrels. So that's going to be something that the Saudis are going to be taking into account, is that we can continue to produce our own. And then we got the Great Britain bank rate that basically was unchanged. We had our FOMC, and obviously nothing happened there. Great Britain not changing rates. So the global economies pretty much shutting down on the raising interest rates. They see that these kinks in the armor are causing some issues globally here. So is inflation here to stay? All of those things are what we're kind of keeping an eye on here and moving forward. All right, I'm going to try and figure out how to share my screen. It looks like I'm actually already doing that for you with the NASDAQ here. Again, it seems like we are continuing to talk about new all-time highs every day here in the equities, again, making another move. And all of this is going to be based on the fact that it does not look like we are going to have a taper anytime soon. Yeah, the Fed is going to be talking about that, but whether or not they come to action, I think, is the real question here, and I don't really see that happening. So E-mini S&Ps, again, getting back into our trend channel here that we've been talking so much about. We've been bumping our heads up against it yesterday, finally peeled back into it. Probably should throw an extension on this, as it looks like we're getting back into this. So let's just say if we can extend this to the right, and we'll get that trend channel going again. All right, so we've got the E-mini S&Ps back into this trend area. One thing I did want to talk about is crude oil, because we're seeing those OPEC meetings today. It's going to cause some volatility in this market as well. As you can see, finding a little bit of a bottom here as we bounce down around this value area high here. Anytime we get a chart bottoming like this, even if we were to go into negative on this underlying, or turn this candle into a red candle, excuse me, it's still going to look very bullish, as a bullish pattern. We'll need to wait for a confirmation. That would be another green candle next to it tomorrow. But right now, looking like we're finding some strength at this bottoming pattern here in the markets. We've got some curious people. Obviously, everybody wants to learn about options here. So something else to talk about is, what was it? I took off a trade today in Kroger. We played this to the upside, and Kroger had really low implied volatility. As you can see, we got this move to the upside, testing that $43. Now, I've talked about this a couple of times. We bounced up against this 40. I'm long the 40 strike, the January 40 calls in there. We bumped up against it last week, got a bit of a topping pattern, sold off. I talked about kicking myself here, but was waiting to find support on this 39 handle. I believed that we were going to see 40 again, and we got that happening yesterday, got the pop above, testing 43 today. Well, that's where I'm pulling the ripcord on it. I'm well into the money on this trade and meeting all of the expectations that I set out for myself for this trade in the January, buying the 40 calls in there actually for $1.46, I believe it was, and I was able to get out for about $4.05. Normally, I look to get out once we come up, beat the probability, smack on my 40 calls, testing those, but this was a little bit of a different situation. We saw the market rally, break off, and I was still wanting to stay in this trade because of those support levels that we had found going forward. Now we broke above that. The shorts are on their heels, but we are testing this golden Fibonacci that I talked about revisiting here, and that's really where I wanted to pull my trade out here, was based on that move there. So I'm out of this trade for a very nice win on Kroger. So if you guys are looking at that, this is a situation where we've gone a little bit far, a little bit fast. I'm looking for a pullback here. So in that, pulling the ripcord on my 40 calls that I got long in Kroger. That's about all I got for you guys. Later on this afternoon, we're going to be doing a webinar on the strangle and the straddle when they go wrong. What do you do, folks? What do you do? How can you stay mechanical with the trade in options that starts working against you? Well, I'm going to show you just how we can create a mechanical way to increase our probabilities of success with the iron condor, the strangle, the straddle, or the iron butterfly. So check that out today. I'm going to be going through all those details, what you need to look for when you are trying to turn a option strategy around when it's kind of working against you. And I'll show you how to do that really easily with the strangle, the straddle, the iron condor, and the iron butterfly. So please check that out this afternoon. Go to protraderstrategies.com. And before you go, smash that like button for me. If you've had anything to take away, I do appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell next to it so that you know when I come in unannounced. Finally, comment. I will circle back around, folks, and make sure you're all clear of concept. And I don't think I have my card today. So, no, take that. All right. I'll see you guys this afternoon, folks, and look forward to it. Bye for now.